My name is Eric, and this is my daily near-death experiences. Back in the mid-90s, lived in central Michigan, and there's a period where I bounced back and forth between my mom and dad, and this time I was at my dad's, and I lived in this Airstream trailer, one of them travel trailers that was on my dad's property. And it didn't have no power or water hooked up to it. It was just the trailer. And during the winter time, I used this kerosene heater to heat the place, and the flame adjuster was broken. So when you turned it on, it was way too high. It was supposed to be like small flame all the way high. And this thing was like almost, the flame is going above the heater itself. It was dangerously high, burning through the kerosene faster than it should. And I had taped up the windows on this Airstream trailer, to make sure none of the heat got out, to easier to keep it warm. And that first night, it gets dark early in wintertime, so got the heat going, and it gets hot pretty quick in that trailer. And while I'm up, I didn't have much for entertainment. It was a little AM FM radio, battery powered, and it get too hot, I just open the door and keep the door open for a while, and cool down, and close the door, get warm again, and just do that. Then I went to sleep, and I wake up that first night, and the heater had ran out of fuel, but I was sweating. I was so hot, and get up and open up the door, and the sleeping bag's all wet, and I'm dripping sweat, and it's so hot inside this trailer. And let all the heat out, and close the door. I don't light it back up this time. I just go to sleep. And wake up, I'm freezing, shivering to death. That was first night. And after that, the next night, I go to bed, and this, flame's going. I wait until it's, I just shiver till it's time to go to bed, and then I light it. And I light it, and I go to bed cold, and I wake up, and I'm so hot. It's so hot, and I'm way sweatier than last time. And the whole sleeping bag's just soaking wet, and I could see the heat inside this trailer. It's so bad. And I crawling out the door, I go, and I'm just laying in a snowbank. I was so hot, laying in a snowbank just felt refreshing. I stripped all my clothes off because I'm soaking wet, and just laying in a snowbank. I end up falling asleep in the snowbank. Wake up, and I'm just naked in the snowbank, freezing. Get back inside the trailer. I am so cold, I end up lighting the heater again. And, same thing, I'm going to bed cold, and getting in a wet sleeping bag cold. It was wet from sweat. And shivering to death, and then I, wake up again, hot again, and this went on for the first 2 weeks of that winter, just except for the third night got even worse. Third night, I wake up, and this time, breathing in them kerosene fumes is, it gives you diarrhea and make you throw up, and so hot, all the sweat's coming out because it's so hot inside there. And that third night I'm covered in diarrhea and throw up and sweat and barely make it out the door in time. And it was bad. I fall asleep in the snowbank again, and twice a night. For the first couple of weeks, I remember one time waking up out of the snowbank, like, oh, so cold. Oh, I didn't have nothing. Everything was soaking wet and had poop on it and throw up, and I didn't have no type of cloth to put on me that wasn't disgusting. I'm trying to open up the door in my dad's house, and it's locked, and there's like nothing I could do. I'm just sitting there naked, cold. I end up lighting the heater again, just shivering and trying to find the cleanest parts of the blanket I can use. And then just waiting patiently till I could get inside and wash up in the morning. It's like right before I wake up, there's like something to grab me. It's like, wake up! And it's like a flash of light and wake up! And then all of a sudden I'm in like a survival mode, like I'm seconds away, it feels like seconds away from death. I'm trying to get outside the door of this trailer where I could breathe. I finally, after a couple of weeks, twice a night, freaking most extreme heat, most extreme cold, twice a night, I got it down to once a night. It's it was a rough winter. Not quite a near-death experience. I'll do a video later on near-death experience. I push the boundaries quite a bit. I remember I used to regret even just going to get the kerosene I needed to fill up this heater. There's this little store on a dirt road, and it had one of 55-gallon drums and hand pump. I remember just being angry, pumping. I had to buy everything. I had to pay for the fuel and pay for the trailer, and it was like, it felt like I was paying for my own mortality. And it was rough. And hindsight's 20/20. There's a lot of stuff I could have done. It's just my own doing. I could have took the plastic off the windows. That would have let the heat out. Probably kept me from dying every night. I could have put less fuel in the heater, so it just ran out of fuel, and just try to gauge how much fuel it would take to get the trailer warm. But wasn't very smart. But I made it through that winter. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But if you got any crazy stories like that you've been through, I'd like to hear about it.